Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Steph and this is Ordinary Plant Girl. If you are new here, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you're returning, thank you so much for spending more of your time with me. Well, it's a new year and I have a lot to do going forward with my plant collection. December was a little bit of a write-off as far as that was concerned, and I have not been here for a while, so there's been a lot of neglect going on as well. So what I'm going to do today is I have got a whole lot of plant chores that I have to do. I'm going to split them up because I'm kind of doing them category by category. So in today's video, I will be working with my Monsteras in my collection. Some of them need to be repotted. There are some that I need to kind of check and see what's going on. And some that I might have to just restart. And that's what we're going to do today. So if that is something that you are interested in, please stick around. Okay, so as you can see, I have got two of my Monstera Thai constellations here. You see me pass this little leaf. So the thing with these two is that this one, although I don't think it really needs to be repotted right now, I am going to repot it because it's not stable enough. It keeps tilting forward and falling over. So I've got another pot here that I will probably be larger in width, not so much depth, because it does have the little raised portion in the center. So I think that that'll be okay for that. And then my second one, hang on, I have to brace this one with another pot. And then I have this one here as well, which you can't really see all of, but this one definitely needs an up pot. It dries out way too quickly and the growth has slowed down. So for that one, I'm going to put into a 6-inch pot as well. So I'm going to get started with these two and get them all set up. Now the one thing about pretty much all of my Monsteras that I have noticed, except for my Monstera Siltepecana, is I get very, very worried about them possibly rotting the roots, especially with the Thai constellations. So with this one, the mix is pretty chunky compared to the other one. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that everything will work out okay. I have also noticed that there's a little bit of yellowing on some of the leaves, not so much the white portions, which are browning off, and I will probably lose them soon, but the browning has been very, very slow on these ones. So this Thai that I have right here, I've had this one since 2020, and it got ravaged by thrips at one point, broke the growth tip off, I think twice. What I ended up doing with that one was I chopped it all down and I propagated, and I ended up with two. One I gave away and this one here that I kept. And so it's still like my original, what's happening here? It's still my original Thai. I'm gonna lean you over right there. It's still my original Thai, but I've had to stop and start it repeatedly in order to get it to grow in some fashion. Both my Thais don't have any current fenestrations from the new leaves. The older leaves seem to have fenestrated, but the new ones were not there yet. So I'm hoping that when I do these up pots, that the next leaves that begin to grow will give me the fenestrations that I'm looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to tilt you down towards the table so that you can see what it is I'm doing. Okay, so I removed the thrips packet because that one's actually long since gone. And then just the tag. So hopefully you can see this okay. I don't know if I should back you up a little bit more, maybe. Does that work for you? Okay, I'm gonna move this tie over here. I'll just throw it in this pot for now. That'll be the new pot. And then I have this one here, which still you can't really see because of this. It's like it's at an awkward teenage stage, pretty much is what's going on there. Okay, so my mixture here has it's got a little bit of tree fern that was left over from me doing some anthurium potting. But besides that, it is just cocoa husk, orchid bark, ProMix potting soil with some perlite and a little bit of pon. Because the one thing that I have also realized is that pon does not work for me, especially with my anthuriums. So let's get this started. And just to address the fact that I haven't been here for months, I didn't even realize kind of where time went there at all. It just completely escaped me. I think my last post was like in September, and my roommates got married in October. And there was like 2 weeks before the wedding, well, a week before the wedding and a week after the wedding, where we were just inundated with people. There was no time to film. And then after that, it just kind of got away from me. Okay, there's a root right here that is probably going to end up broken because it does not want to budge at all. So in December, I had realized that I had been gone for a really long time. Oh, there's another one. And I think I actually filmed footage at that point, and then I decided that I was just gonna wait until the new year. Oh my goodness. And come in with some chores, because I do have to say that I did neglect doing the chores over that period of time. Wow, you do not want to come out of here. Well, that root is now broken. So hopefully, there we go. So there's lots of things I have to do. I have lots of pots that I need to clean. I've got so many that I've given up on a lot of plants. Just because basically they're not bringing me any joy. And, you know, there's some that I've struggled with for just years and they're still not doing anything. And I have decided to either restart them from scratch and give it one last shot, or, you know, I'm just gonna get rid of them. Okay, so I don't wanna mess with the lower roots too much. I'm just gonna give them a little bit of a squeeze. But it's actually got more root in it than I thought, looking at it now. But let's see how we do here. Okay, I do want this to be lower in this pot since I'm not messing with the lower roots, but I do, okay. It's not gonna work with me, it's not gonna work with me. I'm gonna have to get rid of this, I think. Try and work it through. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I decided at that point that I would just come back in January. I know that some of you thought that I was like gone, but I am not. I am not. I am still here. I have no plans on really going anywhere at this point. You know, with the onset of the new year, I am definitely thinking about where I want to go with my content and stuff like that. But you know what? I have fun with it. And to me, that's really all that matters. all that matters to me is that I have fun with it. I love my plants. I love this hobby. And, you know, I want to continue sharing that with you guys. So I'm sorry that I haven't been here. It's not like anything, you know, anything devastating happened. That is a really big piece of charcoal. You know, nothing made me stay away or anything like that. It's just like life literally got in the way. And then once, you know, Christmas came, it was just that time where I decided that I would just wait and come back fresh for you guys in the new year. And I think that people have to do that every once in a while. If you're a content creator, and I call myself that loosely, like, yes, I create content, but you know, there are people out there that, you know, this is their job, and you know, they have to figure out a way to come up with that content every week or twice a week or however often they do it. But I've also noticed that there's been a lot of people lost in the hobby. There's a lot of people that disappeared, and that makes me sad because I really enjoyed watching them and their journey. And I mean, some people left a long time ago after, you know, everything just kind of fully opened back up again. They went back to work. I know that a lot of people joined this hobby or became creators like myself back when everything was just locked down. And you know, it was the way that we would stay connected to people at a time when we weren't allowed to see people physically. So okay, we are having issues. I think I'm gonna have to stake this one up. Can we do without the stake? Once it's anchored in, it'll be fine. Or can I just get away with tying it? So I had this piece of string which was actually holding it up for me so that it didn't fall over in the spot that I have it, and it didn't work all that well. I mean, I still had it falling over, which was not ideal. Okay, now this stake is just, I've got a stake here that's about 2 feet, 2.5 feet. And I didn't want to use this one just because it's so like big. It's so tall, but I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice because this one is just so floppy. I guess I could also bury it more, but I don't want the roots to fill up in the pot too quickly. So I'm just going to, I'm just going to tie it up here for now. And then, you know, in the future, if I need to tackle it, I will tackle it then. But for now, this is where we're at. So there, I've got my twine in there. Okay, now I can add a little bit more substrate, especially back here. In my mix, I also did put in some slow release fertilizer. I tend to do that in the winter because it just reduces my need to remember what I fertilized when and stuff. I think the only thing that I will do a little bit differently is I do like using Cal-Mag, not only for my anthuriums, but also for my other plants as well, my Monsteras. Okay, so this one is done, and I will show you guys that one afterwards. Okay, so now I've got this one here. This one here usually sits behind me on my table. And again, I'm gonna take this packet off. because it's an old one. We're gonna put some soil in here. Again, you can't see anything. Okay. Now this one's going to be interesting because I wouldn't say that it's fully root bound, but I mean, there's a lot of roots going on there down at the bottom. So we're going to see how this goes. Oh no, I cracked the pot. Oh no. So what I didn't notice, which I'll show you if I can get, okay, hang on. Seriously, it's always chaotic with me. So I've got these roots down here in the bottom that I was not aware were there. And it looks like one grew out one side and into the other. I think I can see that one though. The other one should be easy enough to get out. But, so I got this tie December 16th of 2023, as the label says. And, okay, well, this pot is a write-off after this. Okay, I got this one in 2023. It was a really good deal. I can't remember how much it was now, but it was a 4-inch pot when I got it. Oh, I broke roots there, and I broke a root there. But I mean, like, look at that. So one of the reasons that I had got at the time a new tie was because I actually did not expect this one over here to survive, because I propagated it and everything at that point in time. And I wanted to make sure that I had one in my collection regardless. So I wanted to make sure that I did that. And with this one as well, I'm not going to take too much soil off of it. It's really dry though, and this one dries out every few days. So that's another reason why I wanted to make sure that I got these two into new pots. So here's what we're doing. So hopefully it, I mean, retains a little bit more moisture, but not too much, because again, I don't want to rot the roots out, because I am very paranoid about that. So I just want to make sure that I have enough soil to retain some moisture, but you know, not too much to keep the roots soaking wet. And also, being winter now, the dry heat in the house will definitely keep them from staying too damp. And that's good. Oh, got a little pocket down here. Make sure that I do have soil. Oh, I can definitely see root down here that has no soil around it. So we got to make sure that's fixed. That was actually a very current mistake I seem to make, is that I'll go and I'll repot a plant, and then I'll be all done with it, and then I'll go to water it, and it's like, oh, look, you have a giant space where some soil should be. And then I'm already past it and don't want to take it out and redo it, and it just makes things worse for me in the end. So now here we have my second tie constellation and my OG tie with a big giant stake in it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it back in that spot adequately enough, but we are going to give it a shot. So now that I'm done with these, I am going to go get my Monstera Peru, and I'm going to take a look at that and see if everything's going on okay. It is like the slowest plant ever for me to grow. So I'm gonna water these in, put them away, and I will be back with the Monstera Peru. Okay, so I am now back with my Monstera Peru. Yes, I have had this for quite a few years now. And I actually just cut off a leaf recently that was actually starting to yellow. It's really dusty right now too. But I've had this plant for years. Absolutely for years. 3, maybe 4 years. And it was one leaf for a really, really long time. So what I want to do is I just want to get in here and check the roots and see what, if anything, is going on, and find out. I feel like I don't need to upsize it. I'm trying to see if there are even any roots in here, and I can't really see a whole heck of a lot. So we're going to investigate it, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So once again, I'm going to tilt you down towards the table, and we will get started. So let's see what we got here. So this plant actually has a layer of perlite on the bottom, because I figured if I, gave it a reservoir or something, that might help it. But I don't know, it is awfully stuck right now though, so maybe we're further along here than I thought. Not a very breathable mix. And see the root system? The root system on this still is like pretty non-existent. Like it should have way more roots than this. Oh, that one was rotted. But all of the other roots are fine. So I honestly don't know what is wrong with this, or if it's typically just this slow in general. But I'm just gonna put it back in this container. And I got a little bit of a chunkier mix here now. I think I'm gonna bury it a little bit lower too. I don't know if that's gonna stimulate any progress or kill it, but at this point, I mean, I'm okay if it doesn't really survive, because it's not doing anything for me at all. And I don't know if these roots will get stimulated into growing at all, but we are gonna find out. So this is definitely a chunkier mix. There may be with a little bit more of the roots submerged. Maybe that'll work and be better for it. We'll see. It's got plenty of light. It's like right underneath a 10-watt Sansi grow light, so it does have enough light. I don't know, just it's the plant that has just taken the longest for me to grow. It's been impossible. Okay, so there we go. There's the Monstera Peru. I will water that in and put that back. Okay, now what I want to do is I should probably, I think my Monstera Aureas are okay. I don't think I have to do anything with them. I have 2. I got one from Pete, and I got one from North Shore Tropicals a little while back. I think they're okay. But I do have my Monstera subpinnata, which I think I'm going to chop down and restart. And my Monstera siltepecana, which probably just needs a little bit of a haircut because I need to fill that pot. So those are going to be the last two things. I'm going to grab the Siltepecana first because it's going to be the easiest. The not the Standeliana, the Subpinata is really, really tall. So I'll be right back with the Siltepecana. So here I am back with my Monstera Siltepecana. Now I had one on a pole and I had one trailing. And one of the things I'm trying to do is reduce the amount of moss poles that I have. So some things I'm going more for stakes. So the things that I've noticed over time that either don't attach to the moss or, you know, do better on a stake, whether it's a cedar stake or just a plastic pole to climb up, I'm trying to cater more towards having those plants grow the best way they possibly can with that. But the thing was, oh, you know what? I do still have my Siltepecana on a moss pole. I was actually going to chop it down and I haven't done it yet. So I've got a few dead leaves going on here. I think I have to untangle it a little bit though. These seem very caught up with each other. What a jumbled mess this is. They've kind of grown up and around each other. It's like not just the vines themselves, but the leaves have twined themselves around each other. Okay, so there's one. So there's actually only 4 vines in here. So I definitely need to, I just broke another leaf, make this fuller. Try not to break any more leaves here. And I broke another one. Well, I mean, if anything, I guess you're getting an impromptu pruning. So you know what? We're just cutting it. We're cutting it. I can't, I just keep breaking off leaves and it's frustrating me. So we're just gonna propagate. That's what we're gonna do. I did say that, you know, some of this stuff I would be starting over. And whoops, that is just what's going to have to happen. Just have to make sure I find another vessel to put these in. So I think I have a lot of mine being used already. Where's the end of this one? Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna cut where this, there we go. It's not gonna be pretty, folks. It's not gonna be pretty. Okay, this, I'm cutting you right down. Okay, now this one here has, here, I'll cut it and then I'll show you. So there's a root right there that I think would be long enough for me just to plant in here. So that is what I'm gonna do. Got my little fancy hole maker. And we're just, you know what? I can cut that into, I mean, we'll see if it takes. It's kind of in a weird upside down position right now, but I mean, if it helps, right? And then what I don't want is all these, I don't want the twisty curly ones. Okay, so we are looking all kinds of crazy right now. I'm just cutting this one right off too. Okay. Wow, doesn't that look tragic? Okay. I wonder, you know what? Okay, no. I will definitely put those in water. I've got a couple of wet sticks here. I mean, some of these roots have like actually started to grow. So I'm gonna give it a shot. If they don't survive, they don't survive. I've got enough to work with. So I'm just gonna, and I watered it just the other day, so it's nice and damp. Yeah, like some of these have got like, you know, maybe half an inch of root already growing from them, which leads me to believe that it was like, I mean, at least happy at one point in time. I don't know why I just tried to put that whole thing in there. That was just silly. And then the ones that don't have a root on them, I will propagate in water. Now, the cool thing about having so much Monstera siltepecana is that I can experiment with it on this level. Okay, so I'm going to pop those in some water, and I think what I will do is, because I have been filming for a while now, and I still have one more that I have to get through. There we have it, my quirky little, we'll see how you do. Oh, I broke that leaf too. Well, go figure. We'll give it a shot. I'm not fussed about it at all. So yeah, I'm gonna throw those in some water. I will take care of the wet sticks after I'm done everything, and I will go get the Monstera subpinnata and chop that one down. Okay, so here's the bottom of it. Here's, not even all of the top can fit through there. Okay, so I'm gonna pull it out of the bucket that I've got it in right now. But look at this. I'm gonna hit the ceiling. Can you see all those roots down there? I don't want to put the pot down on top of them at all. Let's tilt the camera up so that you can kind of see. Now it's still kind of dark, but I have to chop it down. I've already cut a runner off of this plant once, and it is trying to come out with another one up here. So you know what? I loved this plant because it was just my quirky little oblong weirdo type plant, but now it's just, it's getting to be a little hard to take care of. Not that the plant itself is hard. The plant itself is actually really, really easy. I mean, I pretty much just leave it alone. But we're just gonna get to it. We're just gonna chop it. We're gonna chop it down. To where? I don't know. Because this is another one that I would just like to make fuller. So we'll start here. So there's the top and there's the runner right there. And it's right underneath a grow light too. So the fact that it keeps running, I have no idea. There's cut number 2. Take that off. A little excess. Cut number 3. Now, this plant has been notoriously hard for me to propagate. So I don't even know how much of this. Wow, I just realized how thick those were getting. Like, that was getting pretty thick there. I didn't notice. But it's been notoriously hard for me to propagate. I don't know why. Every other piece of this plant that I have tried to propagate has died. Tragically. So what I can do though is remove this large cedar stake because it doesn't actually attach to it. So, I mean, I don't really need it on this. It's just when it starts to grow bigger, like taller, we'll see. But my objective right now is just to hopefully, fingers crossed, make it fuller. I don't know why I choose winter to make plants fuller when the growing season would probably be easier with so much more light being available to be used. So, should I leave these little guys on? You know what? I'm gonna have to leave it on the cedar stake because even the next stake that I have isn't really much taller than this. So I could leave it on there. I mean, okay. Now if I do that, one of the things that I have to do as well is, I'm gonna throw these into a jar I have over here. I have to resituate this plant so that the roots are back in the pot and not dangling into the reservoir. Okay. Oh, how am I going to do this? Leave it to me to make things a little bit more chaotic than they have to be. Like, okay. I guess it's going to be resting on the roots for a minute. This has actually got water in the bottom of it, so hopefully I don't kick it over because I am sometimes kind of clumsy like that. Okay. So, I'll tilt you down so you can see. I'm just moving these Sultapicana wet sticks here and the Subpanana ones over here. Okay, now how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Okay. Oh, it reaches the window. Okay, oh gee, and see, look at that. I cut inadvertently when I rested it on it. I severed 2 perfectly healthy roots. Anyway. So looking at it, it's not root bound or anything. So, and all of these should slide out of here pretty easily. So I think, and I will probably just use the same soil because I don't need to, uh-oh. Okay, hang on. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay. Yeah, see, there is still a lot of dirt just sliding off of that. So, something else that was freshly watered. Okay. So what I gotta do though is put some of this back in the bottom, and I can't. Okay. Things are not computing at the moment. Okay. I guess just a really big giant chunk of this is what we're working with. I'm trying to get as little dirt on the floor as possible, but this is me we're talking about here, and that's just not going to happen. But do you want to put enough on the bottom? Okay, so we're just going to take all of this and plop you back in here. Put that down. And then just backfill. Oh, I wish I had a better angle for you guys, but at the moment my hands are so dirty. Well, I'm actually glad that I got to fix that, because I wasn't aware that there was that much root in the reservoir of the bucket that I had this in. Now this plant, I typically, did I already say this? I typically use slow release fertilizer for, and I will probably do that again because it seems to like it. And it's one less thing for me to worry about. Typically, if I have a pot size that's 8 inches or bigger, I just use slow release fertilizer. And that seems to work really well. Okay. There we are. Yep, on the floor. More dirt on the floor. Now this one's not afraid to be packed down. And it does have a lot of perlite and pumice in it. So we are all good there. All right, so here we are now. Much, much shorter. But much, much better. It was also growing very close to the grow light. And I was worried that leaves were going to get burned because those 10-watt bulbs are like really hot. Okay, so okay guys, so that is all I have for my Monstera chores today. I have so many more chores to do. And I am gonna try and get back on track with filming and share all of that with you. Thank you guys for sticking around, the ones of you that did, that, you know, hung in there until I came back. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and, you know, New Year's, and I hope that 2025 brings you everything that you are looking for. So with that being said, I hope you are all safe and well. Please like and consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.